episode 9. Let's go.
All right.
I'm gonna put that in there.
No,
too.
you're not.
I'm gonna put
Hey
that in there.
guys,
Watch.
I don't have no clue what he's talking about right now.
Yeah, okay.
No,
I'm gonna put that in there.
I don't know what you're talking about, but hey everybody.
What's up? Welcome to episode 9.
Oh my gosh, I was about to say episode 8.
No, that we already did that.
How's everybody doing? It is the month of love.
Oh no, we just got done with Valentine's.
Yeah, guys.
We have to celebrate late because.
Well, one, I don't like
reasons.
celebrating on the day. Two, we were both work. And
Why don't you like? We can celebrate on the day.
No, okay, can I finish though? I meant to say I don't like celebrating on that day going to dinner or going out.
Okay, so you don't like going out.
I don't. I hate going out.
Which is fine. You know what?
What's up?
So, I bought you pho on the 14th, right?
It's so delicious.
It was pretty good. The restaurant, man, the restaurant I went to,
Yeah.
I wanted to it was cringy because everybody in there was wearing like red and pink and hearts. And I'm just like, oh my God. Are you kidding?
Stop judging people. If they want to feel,
You made me into this because
what?
you don't like Valentine's Day.
I don't like Valentine's Day. I just think it's another, I don't know. Like, I feel like you should
Do you like
celebrate
our anniversary?
love. I love our anniversary, but listen to me. It's just like, you already buy me stuff throughout the year. We already celebrate our love. We already like enjoy each other's company, right? It's just like, I feel like, man, like it's almost like every month has to have a holiday. And it just sounds so like,
What
don't
are you?
get
You're
me
just like
wrong.
You're like Miss Bah Humbug. You don't like nothing.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's cute. I think that when I see people, especially like hearing the younger, generation talk about it, like they bought their significant other teddy bear or like those big cards, that have like those giant
Man, I don't like those.
jumbo cards.
It's like, where do you put them after? Like, where do you put them after the 14th?
And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not gonna lie, because we both know how we feel about each other, right? Like, as far as the day comes, like what we probably want. And I was seriously going to buy you one this year, just like the heck out of you.
Gosh.
I really was. But
See, like you saw those like big bouquets are in right now too.
Yeah, those are cute though.
How much are people spending on flowers, man?
Man, I would say, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because a bouquet of maybe 6-7 roses was like $18 at Walmart.
And that's Walmart price. That's not
Right.
even like, and
A
that's like the
florist.
bare minimal. Like you get a couple roses and then you
Right.
might get like what do they call angel kisses or something like that? The little tiny white, little
yeah,
itty
yeah,
bitty.
yeah.
Like, so you might get that, but then that's it.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really been a flower girl, and you know that. But I do love flowers around my home. I love flowers around my home. But
What about the ones that, and this came up on my social media. I was thinking about getting you a bouquet.
Uh-huh.
The ones they like dip in something, but then they
oh,
don't
like
decay.
yeah. And that's really nice though. So funny story, guys. As some of you guys already know, we started dating in high school, and every Valentine, Itone would buy me some See's chocolates, right? And you already know, like, those are not like the cheapest chocolates in the world. So, well, he didn't know, but I really don't eat chocolate at all. And I really, but
So what would you do with the candy?
I would just give it to my family. So I think it was maybe 7 years, like after 7 years, maybe, or before we got married, after we got married.
You know what? That's a good point though. That's what happens in high school because like my mom would take me, and so she thought, hey, See's candy would be a good idea,
Right.
And since you never told me,
I felt bad. Like, here you come with the teddy
like
bears.
you were my first girlfriend. Like, what am I supposed? Like, I had nothing else to go by.
Well, was that your first girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Such a liar.
That's not a lie.
Such a liar.
That's not a lie.
But
Hey, so
But anyway, so years later, let me finish.
Okay,
So
all right,
years
sorry,
later,
go ahead.
I finally told him. I said, I think this was probably close to when we were about to get married, and I'm like, you know what? We're about to get married. Let's start confessing things. Tony, I really don't like chocolate.
When we were about to get married, like that's like 8-9 years
That's
later.
what I mean. It was like 8 years later. Every year, guys, box of chocolates. And I was like, oh. And then I would go home and be like, hey, guys, I got chocolates. Okay, but on a good note, people would eat them. They wouldn't go to waste.
You don't like nothing. I don't know what you like.
What do I like?
Nothing. You don't like nothing.
Then easier for you, man.
You don't like nothing.
I'm just a simple girl.
So look, speaking of getting together in high school, so I actually have something
You have something.
from one of our viewers.
No.
So her Instagram is created by B, and she liked our story of us getting together in high school. So she made this for you.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, what? What? Are you kidding me?
No. Created by B on Instagram. I'll put her link in the description. And
Aw. I get all emotional. No way.
yeah.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry. Aw. That's thoughtful. Cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at me.
What is it?
Oh my gosh. So it's a Sprite. Look at that. And it even has a. You want to cry too? Look at him. He
No,
wants
I
to cry.
don't.
Yes,
Stop
he does.
lying.
Look at his eyes,
No.
guys. Oh my god, dude. Oh, it even has our date. November 3rd, 99.
You gotta show the camera.
Okay. I know you guys, you're probably gonna have to zoom in. This is so cute.
And it's perfect because we're all into coffee and everything.
Yes.
So.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This is like wonderful. This is very thoughtful. Oh my gosh. I love this. Thank you so much.
All right. Created by B. Thank you.
Yes. Oh man. People are going to be like, what?
Hold
what
on.
does this
I
mean?
got something in my eye.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah,
And I do
something in
too.
my eye. Hold on.
This is so cute. Now I'm going to drink this when you give me my Sprite every month. Every year, I mean. That's so cool. I'm going to put this. Can you put this right there in the front? Thank you so
I think they'll be able to
much.
see it here.
That's a wonderful surprise today. Oh my gosh. Well, see, I love that. Stuff like that. That's what I love.
I know.
You were holding them. When did you receive that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh man. Oh man.
Don't worry about it.
You were holding that on me.
Oh, I've had this plan for a while.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. This was like at least a month or two ago.
What? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Well, if you guys want to hear the story behind that, what episode was that? I don't even remember. 5,
That
6?
was one of our first episodes. So yeah, I don't know, maybe like
Just go watch
maybe
all
like
our
4.
episodes,
Yeah,
guys.
go back and watch our episodes.
Thank you again. That was yeah.
It's cute though. I like it. I'll show you her Instagram. She
Okay.
actually has a lot of cool stuff. So maybe we can, go back and actually buy something.
Okay.
Yeah, because she has some cool
I got
stuff.
support, guys.
But so today, you guys, we actually want to do something a little bit different. Today, we're going to be talking about, does body count matter?
Oh, why are you always trying to bring up this?
Does body count matter?
Oh my gosh, all over, guys. That's all I see over social media. But you know what? Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. And it's I feel like every time you turn on one of those red pill channels on YouTube or whatever, like that's all they talk about is
I like you say red pill.
red pill, yeah, is income that the ladies make and body count.
Right.
So, does body count matter?
I mean, I like how it started. I mean, I guess it just depends on the guy. I mean, if that's something that matters to you, then you know what I mean. That has like I could see why some girls would probably be, I don't know, against talking about it, but especially like on the first date. Like some guys will probably ask on the first date, and I've seen some of those videos.
I don't know if it's I mean,
come on,
you shouldn't be hooking up on the first date.
No.
But
I'm asking
like
to be asking those kind of like deep questions.
No. I don't think that's a question for the first date.
Yeah.
But I will say,
but there's guys that do though, and that's kind of uncomfortable. And why would he do that on the first date?
Well, let's not just say there's guys. I think there's ladies that do too.
Well, I was just saying because you said, did you say body count? I'm sorry. Oh, I just assumed like a woman. Because usually, like you said, the guys...
No. Body count, whether it's body count for women or body count for men.
Okay.
So not just body count for women.
All right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I was just assuming you were talking about... Because you were talking about the red pill men. Those are pretty extreme.
I know,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's pretty extreme. Like, I mean, that's a totally different topic. But does it matter? I mean, statistically... I would say yes, it probably does matter. I mean, if we see the statistics, we see how it can affect a relationship. I'm
more along the lines of like going into maybe a new relationship, or you've been in a relationship. And
so I'll say this. I think if you're going to go into a new relationship and you're that type of person that's still, you kind of have to obviously be that type of person to block everything behind you or your history, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're not, I can see how it's going to affect if you're going to go into a relationship. Now I'm the type of person that also believes whatever happened in the past happened in your past. Mm-hmm. And if your significant other accepts that, I do think that your significant other should, if they want to know that type of information, by all means, like they should, and that's their choice if they still want to continue on with the relationship. Some people will probably be judgmental.
That's actually a really good point. But so I guess my question is there a number that's so high where you would say, no, I can't? Mm-hmm. And if it's not so high and you're willing to move forward with the relationship, mm-hmm. Would there have to be like time in between like that last person and now you?
Well, no, because I think that if there was no true relationship, like serious relationship with the last person, mm-hmm. why would it matter? What if it was a one night stand? Obviously there was no type of right. I mean, so why would there be any like gap between somebody who you weren't taking serious and somebody you meet and you're like, wow. I mean, ultimately, isn't that the goal of the girl? I mean, sometimes not. Sometimes they just want to be out, or the guy, or the mm-hmm. They just mm-hmm. want to be out there and doing their thing.
In the streets.
Dang. That deep? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, they want to be out there. And they're not trying to be in a serious relationship. That's on them. But if somebody does come along, I mean, I don't see why would it like affect their relationship if she's serious and he's serious about the relationship.
So I don't know. I think for me, mm-hmm. and maybe coming from a guy's perspective, I would want to put on the brakes and be
like the guy to put on the brakes.
Yeah. So this is from my perspective. I feel like I would put on the brakes. Okay, you've been around the block a couple times. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want to take that on.
No. Okay, so wait. Are you? So I think I'm misunderstanding your question. Are you saying either or, if they've been sleeping around, should they be the one to put on the brakes or the other person?
The other person.
Oh, okay.
So I'm talking in terms of like, okay, now there's a there's a woman,
Right.
you know, who's been around
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
yeah.
wants to get into
A relationship.
long-term relationship.
So the guy
She
should say, "Hold on." Is that what you're
No,
saying?
I'm just saying, like me.
No, I know, but you're saying in that
think-
sense, the guy should be the
So,
one to
so
say.
I
like,
think okay. So I think that both parties should really take the time to think about it.
okay, so
so-
can I just stop you there because I'm going to lose my train of thought. So
Okay.
I do agree with you in the sense that I'm a strong believer in developing a friendship first with that person. I mean, hey, I've seen relationships that, actually on the first date, they hit it off and they take things serious, right? From then on. But I do think like in that, scenario where the girl or the guy, they've been dating, they've been doing their thing out in the streets. I do think that if you're going to go into a serious relationship, it's probably better, to start developing that friendship, starting to
Right.
get to know the person. And I always tell this to young people as well. I don't jump into things like, what's the rush? It's the rush. But I do think that age matters too. I don't know. Sometimes being an older person, you kind of develop a list of, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad,
Right.
realistic, not realistic. But
So
but
and
as a
that's
younger
that's
generation,
another thing too. I would so at least from like our generation and like people who are older than us, right? I think you have to go in thinking that okay, if they're older, they're gonna have some bodies behind them, right? At least a couple.
so
but how many-
should they be less judgmental then? Or less picky. I wouldn't say judgmental, but less picky.
So okay, so someone who's in their 40s or 50s,
Mm-hmm.
who's had, let's just say 10 partners
Mm-hmm.
versus someone who's 20 and has had 10 partners.
Right.
That hits a little bit different, right?
So I think like you're trying to say just overall body count. Like that's what you're focusing on, like the
Yeah. Yeah, overall. What I was going to say earlier too is statistically there's actually a correlation between body count and divorce rates.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like so the statistics show, that your
Yeah.
relationship, the higher the body count, like the more of a risk of your marriage or relationship not working out in the
Right.
future. And,
Right.
and that's what I meant earlier.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something that you do have to take into account, and the other person, willing
Right.
to go into a relationship with somebody who's had a high body count. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't come from that world. Like nowadays, I think maybe it's something that's always happened, but.
Well, I don't know. I mean, coming from a guy's perspective, growing up when we were a little bit younger, young adults, I only knew personally one person who had been with like maybe 30 women,
Right.
and now that's not uncommon,
Right.
on both sides, women having 30 partners and men having maybe even more. I don't know.
And then the difference is that girls probably are hit harder than the guys. I mean, let's be realistic.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think that if a girl were to say I have a body count of 30 versus a guy that says I have a body count of 30, it's seen very
That
differently.
hits different, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like she's just being out in the street. Can I say like, never mind. Let's not use those type of words, but you know what I mean? So it's.
But you know what though? I think that guys are given a bit of leeway, but I think that at a certain number on both parts, they're going to be a little bit embarrassed.
Well, I do think it just depends on your values. You know, if you
True. Yeah.
you know what I
can
mean,
see that,
because
yeah.
I think like if both if
But
you
if you
get
had values, would you have 30 partners? I
no.
mean, you was out in the streets and you got values. I don't know.
Man, the secular world is like that. You know what I mean? The secular world will get you into things, and you're young, and social media tells you to do this and that, and you know, sometimes you're pressured. I mean, it's lust, it's sin, it's all the
And then
above.
we have online dating, and that I think that was really the catalyst that kind of flipped things around.
You think so?
Yeah, for
Online
sure.
dating.
For sure. Because, you know, before you had to like go out and like, I don't know, go to the bar or something or some sort of
Actually
social group.
socialize
Yeah, you
and
had
meet
to socialize, you had to meet somebody. You know, and now you can just go online, swipe left or right. I don't know which way it is.
Thanks to
And
love.
I don't know, you know, see who you match up with.
Right.
And I mean, to be honest, people who I know that have used like apps like Tinder, they just said like it's a hookup culture.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't really speak on that because I really don't know much about it. So unfortunately, I don't really want to say anything that I don't know. But I mean, yeah, Tinder, you say the word Tinder to me, it's like hookup. You know, that's just another way of hooking up. It's one of those topics where people want to say, well, that's the new age. But I do feel that in a way it's not, because it's such a big topic right now. You know what I mean? It's such a big topic. And I'm yet to see a guy. I'm just saying from a girl's perspective, because most of the videos that I see, it's always like two guys are surrounded by like 7 or 8 girls. And
Right.
some of this, and obviously the girls, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but they have a high body count, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to dispute like, well, why is it wrong for me? Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So I find
But
that.
you know what? So I just recently watched an episode like that, and the women went around and stated their body count. And the ones who had body counts that were like above 30 or in their 30s, those were the ones who didn't want to state what their body count was.
That didn't want to?
Yeah, they wanted to decline to say what their body count was. So I think that at a certain number,
Well, because
it's
they
definitely
know.
it's definitely embarrassing.
Well, you
because
know
you're out
that
there
socially,
in them streets.
yeah, socially is not like, okay, so it's ironic, right? It's like accepted but not accepted, because if you don't want to say it, but so it's like, you know, there's no way that you would put that out there. One, it is your privacy. But two, I do feel like if your significant other, I think they were arguing that why should a guy ask a woman what
Right.
is her right? That was I think the argument.
Yeah,
I'm totally for it. Like, why, if that's something that really matters to any the girl, the guy, that's the preference. That's what they want.
yeah,
You know, and don't feel bad if you do find a guy or a girl that's probably, you know, like awesome. You're like, dang, like I could see myself in a relationship, but something that they don't, you know, something on their list is not high body count. Well, you know,
because I think high body count, and the first thing I think of is, oh, this person's easy. It's an easy target. That's what I think.
okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have to develop that relationship. It's so important.
Right.
You know, it's so important. So here goes my social work. Like, sometimes it's
Here we go.
well, because you don't, sometimes I do think that a high body count in either or could mean there's some kind of motive or something that happened to them in the past. Like, you'll be surprised how many people I come across, and because of past trauma, they
Sure. So one of the first questions they ask these women is, and again, this is a lot of it is coming from like the red pill channels, and it's usually the guys doing the interview with the panel of women.
which could be biased sometimes.
No, it definitely is.
Right?
It definitely is, because
Okay.
we don't get the other side of things with the guy.
And I was about
right?
to say that, let's have like another let's swap the tables. I
Right.
would love to see two girls that wish, to have a guy with a low body count be surrounded, by like a table of 9 guys. Let's
Right.
talk about it.
So one of the first questions that they like to ask is, "Where's your dad at?" Where's your dad at? And a lot of the responses that the ones who have higher body counts typically give, or the ones who are on OnlyFans typically give, is, "Oh, my dad wasn't around," or "My dad left," or "My dad's not present."
I do think there's a huge correlation there. It's either that
Yeah.
abused, right? I mean, either sexually or any type of abuse, and
Right.
mental
Yeah.
abuse. I do think that there's even research on sex addiction.
Yeah.
And a lot of it coming from parents that were addicts of some sort, or it's a
Right.
thing, right?
Right.
So, and sometimes people will use that to escape reality. It's kind of weird, but not weird. I mean, that's the reality I personally don't understand it, but I would assume like mentally you still have to heal from something in order to stop this behavior. Right. So, I do sometimes listen to this woman speak, and some of them are so smart. Some of them are so smart. Some of them have no idea what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, because like you said, there's no really good example,
Right.
to learn to do better. And it's sad. Like, it breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart because I always question, are they going to regret it as the older they get?
Absolutely. I absolutely
I mean,
think
I would
so.
like to see them 20 years from now and actually pick their brain out and like if show them how they presented themselves in those videos, and to see, do you think any different now?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that, body count is one thing, but these women on OnlyFans, so once your stuff is on the internet, it's there forever.
Right.
You're not going to be able to put that behind you. That's going to be there forever. So that's something that will haunt them until until the end of time. So that would be a harder hurdle to get over than body count, in my opinion.
So, talking about OnlyFans, did you see that article about the mom? She was promoting her OnlyFans page, picking up her kid. I guess she has it in the back of her, like a sticker in back of her car. Yeah, she was banned from school.
No.
She was banned. They told her either I don't know if they actually gave her the option, like you have to take it off, but you cannot come, and basically showing that how.
Well, you know what? Good for the school who put those boundaries in place.
And
That's
that's what
kinda
I'm saying.
ridiculous
It's boundaries.
You know what I mean? Because kids have cell phones these days. What's to stop a kid from Googling the OnlyFans page?
I know. Well, wasn't there
that's
another
crazy.
story where the mom, the kids started, they had seen the mom, which why are these kids even allowed or have access to these websites is
You
beyond
guys,
me.
listen, parents, stop being lazy and monitor what your kids are doing. I understand that you can't do it 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You can't
'Cause we don't have control.
block them from everything.
Right. Some of these
But
kids are so smart too.
Yeah. But do your part. Okay? Do your part. Stop letting these kids just look at any and everything. Okay? It's so easy just to set up some parental controls on the
Yeah.
phone that you guys purchased, by the way.
Yeah.
With your money, y'all are paying the monthly bills, but y'all letting these kids just looking at any and everything.
Right. And yeah, you're right. There's ways that you can go about it as a parent, because for Elias, any website that he goes on his phone, we get a notification. Right? And so, but
And some of the websites, I'm like, what is this kid?
remember?
Into? Yeah.
Remember, was it like 2 weeks ago? I had to stop myself, guys. I have to, because I got a notification. It was like violence, and I forgot what else. But I was about to call him, and But then I was like, you know what am I doing? And it's pretty cool because it tells you the name of the website. You can go and look at it yourself. So I was just going to go. No, actually I did. I went to the website and it was just an anime. So it's considered violence,
But I think the thing was that there's hentai on that website or something.
Was there?
I think that's why it popped up.
Okay. So, but my point is, hey, that was great. We were able to see it, and Eliza was like, "What are you talking about, Mom?" There's nothing,
Right.
But maybe it could be a little bit too much for a younger, like Leilani. There's no way we will allow her to do that. Elias is 15. There's
some certain things, he can watch, and
now
it's fine. Yeah, now.
But yeah, I mean, it's for all the parents. If you're not familiar with it, just call like your phone company, and they can hook you up with all this parental.
Or just don't give them phones at 10 years old.
So that's like a big dispute
anyway,
too. But that's another topic.
I think we're kind of getting off topic here. And I want to get back to the discussion. Is there a number that's too high?
It depends on the person. It depends on the person who you're about to date, if they care or don't care. But I would say this, you just have to have like an open mind, if that's the accurate term, only because you don't want to ever bring those encounters to your significant other, in the future. Like, will you, or throw things at their face, or, or vice versa. You've slept with all these people and you want to compare, you want to, whatever. I don't know, but do I think I can't give you a number for some, like, I don't know.
So
I don't.
I'll say this. Personally, I think that once you start creeping into double digits, that's when I'd say, I don't know if we can have a serious relationship.
At any age?
I mean, I might be a little more forgiving.
Okay, so I'm just going to paint a scenario. Like, you're 40, right?
Right. So
and
40,
you have 20.
That's too much.
It's too much?
Yeah. That's
one guy every year, one girl every year.
That I start questioning, like, what's going on? Like, what has happened that you couldn't settle down?
That
like,
part,
to me,
I agree.
that's a red flag.
That part I agree.
Right. And again, we came from a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in our generation, I think a body count within 10 is probably acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start getting above that, now you start getting into promiscuity.
Right.
I think on both ends, whether it's, male or female. And again, I think there's a little bit more leeway with guys, socially speaking,
right,
than it is with women.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think once you start creeping up towards, beyond 20,
Mm-hmm.
that's a red flag on both sides.
I think so. I mean,
but
below, no, I do.
10,
I do think that you said important, like an important part of it. Like, you start questioning. Okay, you've had 20 people, and none of those were the one. But then again, I mean, they could have just been one night stands.
It could have, but then that's,
like going
to me, that's a
out
red flag
and you
too.
don't
Like,
want to
why
settle down. And
like, what's going on? Like, what's going on with you mentally that you've been through this many people?
right.
Where'd the one night stands come from? What's happening to you? So, do I want to take on whatever's going on in their head? Because it's a whole package. Right?
And again, that's why I'm okay. I'm okay with people wanting to ask that question, because I am certain that there's a deeper issue, than whatever is going on or whatever is in the surface or whatever. Right. So, I mean, honestly, Tony, like I've been going to church for a very long time. So my values are very different. I see things very differently, and it's just something that I agree with. And
Right. So that's a good point too, because I do believe in forgiveness. I think that people can change. It's just that, that's something that you have to be aware of that you're getting into, because again, the statistics kind of speak for themselves, right? And from a male's perspective, if statistically you're more prone for divorce, well, divorce usually doesn't work out in the favor of men.
But then you're not seeking the proper help. You know what I mean? Are you seeking God's help? Or are you seeking a secular help? Because if you're already got yourself into a marriage, and that's why I say, like, you have to it's so important to develop that friendship before marriage and seek those. And guys, like, it is important to seek counseling even before marriage. Like, we went to classes, you know what I mean? And you'll be surprised how many things you actually discover that you didn't even have an idea, right? Prior, like even during your dating years. So there are deeper conversations you have to tackle. And that's why it's so important when you're in a relationship, like, to ask those uncomfortable questions.
Right.
Right? Because once you jump that broom, it's almost like, hey, this is my husband, this is my wife. Like, you're making a commitment.
You know what? If that person has repented, they're walking with God, okay, maybe we can try this out.
But don't you think that if they're walking on that path, not to say your marriage is going to be 100%, nobody's marriage is, but it will definitely kind of heal those doubts or that past.
Right, of course. That's why I said, like, if they're walking with God, then I think that
I'm going to put this forward a little bit.
If they're walking with God, I think that, of course, then maybe it's something that I personally would be more willing to try than if somebody had a high body count and didn't have a relationship with God.
Right.
Right.
For us. For us. So somebody that is, does not have faith, the secular world will probably tangle you into something, like you're just going to go into a deeper hole, because then it's okay to just give up on your relationship. And, right. I mean, there's case by case, not to say sometimes things happen and, separation is better, like either way. But I do think that if it's a body count thing, I'm 100% sure if you see God, you can surpass that.
So I'm going to give you a really extreme example.
Oh. And then I have time to think. Let me have time to think.
I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
I hate when he does this, because I always need time. My brain needs time to think. But okay.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
This is gonna be good.
All right.
Okay? It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. So there's a video. I don't think we're gonna play it just for the sake of time.
Okay.
But there's a video online of a girl being interviewed.
Okay.
She's fairly young. I'm gonna say maybe late 20s or so. And in this video,
I thought you were gonna say late 30s.
No, and it honestly, it doesn't even matter whether what age this woman is.
Okay.
So she says that in 1 year she had slept with 300 men, and at most 5 men in one day.
Poor.
And now, hold on, here's the thing. Now she wants to settle down and find a partner.
My soul breaks for her. My soul. Like, I'm not even thinking of, honestly, like, I'm not even thinking of the body count. I'm just thinking of her, how broken she probably is mentally, physically.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like how broken she is, and no, like you need to seek help for yourself first. That's not. I'm sorry. To me,
Yeah.
that's not normal. You know that you're gonna sleep with 5 men. It was
At most, it was 5 men in one day.
at most, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
at
still,
most, it was
I mean,
5 men in one day. But over the course of 1 year, it was 300. So that almost equates to one man every day minus weekends or something like that.
yeah.
So every day of the week, Monday through Friday, is a different person.
Was there a purpose? Did she say?
You know, I don't recall. A lot of what these women are saying is like empowerment.
Empowerment.
Yes.
It's not empowerment to say no, but it's empowerment to
Yeah.
say yes. Can I say? I don't know what you could say now on YouTube.
I don't know. We'll probably block it out. But
So
yeah.
so it's empowerment to say yes to. What,
I don't know. You know, like something had to have happened to her, and now maybe that's her way of controlling men.
but that's why I said this earlier, that I know when women go through a very traumatic event, you don't care what you do with your body. You know, you kind of block it out.
Right.
You know, that's the way they describe it, and you kind of stop caring about life. So
Right.
I'm just going to do whatever the heck I'm going to do to my body.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's a very interesting way of seeing it when I hear people say that, like, I'm going, you know, it's empowerment. I'm playing around with these guys, or no, honey, you're not. That's
No.
just it's such a high risk for like diseases, for even though you want to take care of yourself, like you're just hurting yourself mentally as well. There's no way that
And
you're enjoying 300 men.
my thing is this also. So now she wants to settle down. There aren't many men. I'm sure there's somebody out there, but most guys will say, "Heck no, no, I'm not even going to waste my time with that."
Yeah.
There's like,
Unless you find a guy that doesn't care and they're not going to ask you. Is that it? Unless, I mean, if she
like I
wants
said,
to verbalize it.
there are
And
those guys out there. And again, this is online now, so I mean, if I met this person, first thing I'm going to do is look up their social media.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
so-
she's already out there.
so it's
yeah,
out
you're
there.
Right. You're right.
You know, whether she wants to disclose it or not, I can find it.
My heart does break for her. You know, there's obviously something behind her reason for doing something like that. And yeah, I mean, is she gonna have a difficult time finding a relationship? Of course,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a big. I mean, that's extreme, man. That's like whoa.
No, I know. That's why I wanted to give that example. You know, because it
Yeah,
was an
I-
extreme example, but I mean, she was literally like serious, like, you know, I'm done with the streets now. Now I want to find somebody.
I hope that she heals herself first. I hope that she seeks the professional help, and she finds Jesus.
Yes.
She finds Jesus, and I don't know. Like mentally, I can just imagine like how that's playing in her head.
I don't know.
But you know,
that's it.
even then, God is great, man. You know, if she really, really means it, and she, you know, takes care of herself first, I think that she can. I do think that she can find somebody. It's gonna be hard, yeah, but you know what? That's not for us to say. Like, if that's in her plan, God's plan, then that's it. You know.
You know, there's somebody for everybody, but you know,
Hey,
she's gonna have
even
to.
God, even Jesus, like he'll, you know, help prostitutes. So
No, this is absolutely true.
not
And
that
I
I'm
don't
calling
know.
her a prostitute, you know, not because I'm not calling her that, but I'm just saying as an example. You know, like if you do repent,
Yeah.
you know, what
I don't
mean?
know why I'm thinking of the lady at the well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know this story, in the Bible, Jesus goes to a Samaritan woman getting water at a well, and he asks for some water. And during that time, Jews and Samaritans, they had like a beef going on. So they shouldn't have even interacted with each other. But anyway, Jesus asks for some water. The woman gives him some water, and he asks the woman, "Where's your husband?" And I believe she says, "Well, I don't have one." And then he's like, "Yeah, I know you don't. And the man you're with right now isn't your husband either."
I think we just read this, right? Man, the Bible has some deep stories.
Yeah.
It's,
So, he basically told her, "Look,
I remember.
chill
that.
out.
Chill
Stop
out.
sinning."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's a great example of like, even God is merciful. And yeah, stop sinning and repent. I wish her the man. It's crazy. So real quick, like I remember this is what I mean, guys. This is what I mean. Like, be very cautious what your kids watch. But when we were younger, and maybe most of you will remember, there was a show with the host called Jerry Springer.
R.I.P. Jerry Springer.
Man, we probably should have not been watching that at such a young age,
And
or
there was a lot
probably
of things we
never.
shouldn't have been watching.
Right,
But yeah, Jerry Springer was one of them.
so this is nasty, guys. This is nasty. And I remember I honestly don't remember how old I was, okay? But I remember this girl, and she was literally going to sleep in the show. She was just laying there, and she had, what can I use besides, she had relations.
Hooked up.
She hooked up with I'm not even going to say a number, but it was a very large number of men who were lined up. This was on the set. Do you remember that?
No.
This was on the set.
They can't air that on TV.
Well, I don't know where I watched this.
Mind you,
or maybe
a lot
he
of Jerry
was
Springer was actually scripted.
right. But this was like aired, right? So they're actually showing this to people. Like, here she is, and the guys they were hooking up with her.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
I have heard of people women in the adult industry doing things like that.
But what
trying to set records or something.
right? That's what she
Right.
was doing. She was trying to set a record. But I just remember thinking, man, how sad and how dark that, people were like clapping and wow. And, it was just like something amazing.
Yeah.
But
what happens when you don't look pretty no more?
But can I tell you something? Looking at her, Tone, she seemed so lost. She seemed so lost. Like, I remember looking at her face and like a smile, that smile, like
Just like empty.
yes,
Yeah.
just very empty. But she seemed very sure of herself and very like happy and very, chirpy, whatever you want to call it. But I will never forget, like, I even see her face, like, that she just seemed so empty. It was just sad. It was just really sad. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And the pressure, that you are placed in, and,
Right.
So I do think that society plays such a big pressure, but again, there's that other part. Like, you have a choice. Don't forget, girls, you have a choice. Like, respect yourself, and don't do things just, to I don't know, move forward. Like, work hard for it, and I promise you will move forward. Respect your body, and Can I tell a story about the when I went to audition?
Go for it.
So when I was younger, guys, I was willing to go, and I was really into like the acting, and so I was 25. Was I 25? I think I was 25.
Yeah, I think about that time.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity, and I was able to get signed up. Or at the time, I had met a guy, and he was like the managers for some actors. And I'm not gonna say any names, but yeah, I met him, and he actually signed me up for an audition. I was like, great, right? So I went and I did the audition, but after, I remember him asking me to go like spend the night at his house. Like he was straight out. He was straight.
I feel like I didn't hear this part.
I did. No, I know I told you. I told you he had told me, like, why don't you spend the night? Because we used to live in Central Cali.
Right.
So I had driven like 2 hours. And he did. He said, and, he's like, well, why don't you come and spend the night? We can talk about your future. We can talk about, what I can get you into. Trying to be very persuasive, pursuing and kind of painting the nice picture of what we hear about the industry, right? The acting industry. And it's so true. I could have easily said, this guy can help me. And I met some guys that were literally working with high-end actors, and I could have easily been very persuaded into like thinking, hey, I really want this. Why not? But
Yeah, and that's how they are in that industry. You hear those stories all the time.
But my point
And
is,
if it wasn't you, somebody else was going to go in there.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, wow, how many people actually just fall for it and unfortunately get pressured into it, and I feel like that's the only way of moving forward or making it. But you know what? Again, man, like my faith, God was like, Norma, like run. I remember, Matt, after meeting him, I was like, yeah, no, okay. But, yeah, we were talking, and I didn't want to make nothing big out of it, but because I didn't know how far I was going to pursue it. So I wanted to leave everything nice, like, bye. But I wanted him to make sure, I wanted him to know, like, no, like, I'm not here for this. But I had that choice. Again, you have that choice. Like, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid. Like, it's okay. It's okay to say no. You might not be liked. Oh, well, be okay to not be liked. But I thought I told you.
I feel like I would have remembered something like that.
So I will say this, and I will be honest with you. I felt really ashamed. So I don't think I told you for a while. That was very embarrassing. So I can just imagine somebody that goes through it, how shameful they might feel. So I could see why maybe some of these females that do have a high body count, like they're kind of hesitant of saying their number. Wow, I just thought about that right now. That's deep. Because I don't think I did tell you that right away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't think I heard that part.
Yeah. But now as an adult, like now I tell my mom. My mom just recently found out, not that long, maybe like a couple years ago. But yeah, I told her what happened. But I don't feel embarrassed by it. Obviously, my mentality has grown by then. Like I've grown a lot. But I see it a very different way now. I see it as in a way where like I need to speak out so younger people can learn from that.
That's funny you said that because I just heard another star talk about an incident that he went through, and he basically said that like they don't just give you this this choice and say, here, sign on the dotted line. You know, they'll like sugarcoat it
Right.
and say, you know, hey, you can come back to my place if you want to, but you know, you don't have to.
It's
You
true,
know?
man.
Yeah.
It's true. And then once you're there, you know, you're there. Like I can just imagine, like you hear all these stories, like you know, people always say, why didn't you just say no? Or why didn't you just say stop? You know, it's not, as a female, you know, point of view, again, like you could say no, but before, like there has to be a certain point that you have to stop it, you know. But I can't imagine once you're there, you know, you're kind of like being pressured into it and being sweet talked about, like all these things that could happen. You know, I could see that. Ooh, that's scary,
No,
guys.
that's a trip, man. Well,
Arm yourself with God. Arm yourself.
well, I'm glad you ran from that situation, because who knows what, you know,
Yeah.
what would have happened with that.
Yeah, no regrets. It was meant for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No, nothing else. I'm pretty good.
What do you want to call this wig?
Oh my gosh, here he goes again.
What is this?
You know what? She already has a name. I don't remember her, but she already has a name. So, usually the company that I buy the wig from, or these wigs that I've been buying from, they have a name already. So I feel
They
kind of,
have a name already?
yeah, they have a name. So I feel kind of bad
Okay,
renaming
but that's
them.
like when you buy a dog, right? Sometimes the dog already has a name, and then you're like, oh no, I'm gonna change his name.
I know I probably am, but I haven't chosen a name yet. So
So then it's not like fully yours. Maybe that's why you said it doesn't fit right.
oh my gosh, right? Can you just let me be with my wigs? Do you like her?
It's nice.
Yeah, no, that means probably no.
No, it's nice.
It kind of fits a little weird.
I like how you put the lipstick on and
you
kind of
when
contrast it with the wig.
you like that, huh?
I also want to say, you've been working out for like 3 weeks straight. You look like you
Woo, woo.
shed a couple pounds.
I have.
Looking a little lighter.
Thank you. I've been working hard, and I want to give props to
I
my
noticed it
fam.
the other day. I said, oh, she looked like she losing a few pounds.
I have a great support group, by the way. So shout out to you guys. You guys know who you are. We've been kind of supporting each other, encouraging each other. So it's not easy. It's not easy, but that's another topic. Let's talk about health next time.
I'm sure we can do that.
All right. Or any other topics
right.
you guys want to hear us talk about. You guys can be nosy and we'll talk about it.
All right. So then let's wrap it up then. Thank y'all for joining us. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Right.
Please subscribe to the channel, guys.
Yes.
And
have a good day.
we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Peace.